how to overcome the fear of trolls and trolling comments so that you can show up more powerfully as an expert in your field, in your craft and business, and deepen your status as a leadership and authority figure. And this is what we're going to be discussing today. And as a leader, as an authority figure, I don't believe you are that kind of a person who is going to allow trolls to stop you from showing up powerfully, and to stop you from expansion and stop you from being the leader that you are. A couple of things that I will cover today are: what are the most common reason that this shows up in the way it shows up? What is often at the root of it? And in what other ways it can show up? Because you might not even realizing that this is showing up in different areas of your life as well. I will also talk about what is actually needed to be able to overcome those fears. And I'll also talk about why the avoidance is not the solution to it, why simply relying on sticking to a certain type of content and avoiding to try things is not the solution. And of course, I will discuss on how you move forward and really fully step into that leadership and deepen that authority status that you already have. What is at the root of it? What is at the root of this fear? And this comes from experience speaking to other business owners, from having conversations with my peers, from the clients, and personal experiences, because there was a level of fear that I experienced as well. At the root of it is usually the internal belief that whatever trolls might say, it is actually true. And our self-preservation, our subconscious is trying to protect us from having to deal with it, because at the root of it is a pain point, and the fear that they will affirm what we already to an extent believe about ourselves to be true. I'm going to share something from personal experiences. So one of the reasons why I avoided being visible online is because I was fearing that if trolls, or if I get comments about my looks, about my weight, it will confirm what I already knew to be true, that I am a plus size woman, that I am fat. However, to an extent, I was fearing that whatever they say, it will affirm what I already kind of felt within, the self judgment that I already felt within. So when we fear to receive such comments, when we fear judgment from trolls, from people around us, it is usually hitting the point of the judgment that we already have towards ourselves. When we get those comments and they create an emotional reaction within us, when we get distressed by those comments, it is usually a sign that we believe those comments to be true, that at some level this is our truth, that at some level we have accepted that as our truth, and we are filtering any information that might come from the outside as a confirmation, as a affirmation of that truth. Whether that is right or wrong, or whether that's right or not, it doesn't matter. But we believe that it's true, and any comments, any experiences, external experiences that we have will confirm it and affirm it. And it's simply going to be adding to that. And the solution to that is basically to address and reframe that belief. When we are fully certain that whatever they're saying is not true, then it is very easy to dismiss those comments, to disregard that trolling behavior, and it simply does not touch us. I remember a example from my coach from a couple of years, but I have also seen it with my clients, is that, for example, someone will judge what they're doing in their business and say, oh, that doesn't mean that you're successful. What kind of coach are you if this is how you show up? What kind of coach are you if this is your accent that you have? What kind of coach are you if your grammar is not okay? And if you do not believe that already at a certain level within you, then it's not going to touch you. But if it's already an insecurity of yours and a doubt of yours, it is going to be highlighted. It's going to be mirrored to you. And basically, our avoidance to show up, to do video, long form or short form, to do blogging, to be more openly, more public about certain topics, is the self preservation, because there is a part of us that is trying to protect us from that, from having those experiences and having those emotional reactions. And this can show up in various ways. It can show up as a belief that I don't enjoy doing short form video. I don't enjoy doing TikToks, Reels. I don't enjoy doing YouTube videos. I don't enjoy writing. I don't have time for it. This is not my area of expertise. I'm just not good at it. And your subconscious will give you all of these different ways of how to avoid it. And I would always urge to sit down and think about it, whether this is true or not, because, and I do this for myself, I will always question whether this is true, whether I am not good at doing something, whether I don't enjoy doing video, or am I avoiding doing it because I'm afraid of what might be the consequence of me showing up online and being more public and having a bigger reach. And in order for you to be able to show up as an authority figure and really step into that leadership and deepen that leadership and authority status, there are a couple of things that are really needed. It will require of you to be really settled into your self-knowledge, self-confidence, because if you are not, if there are any parts of you that are not, it's going to be highlighted. It will, any comments that you might get, it will mess up with your head, and it will make you question your worth. It will make you question your capabilities, your expertise, everything. It will require of you to have internal coping tools to be able to recognize when any of the comments highlight something within you, to recognize the emotion that they are evoking, and to recognize that belief that you already have within yourself. It will require that you have internal coping mechanisms to be able to handle any fears and doubts and insecurities. And they will come up. If they're already existing within you, they will be mirrored by those comments and by people outside. The next thing that is needed are good emotional and nervous system regulation skills, because the sooner you are able to soothe your nervous system because of that initial reaction that is brought up, the sooner you can regulate your emotions and soothe your nervous system that gets triggered by those comments, the sooner you will be able to go into reframing of those beliefs, and you can, the sooner you will be able to attend to any of the underlying limiting beliefs that are causing these reactions. That will look very different for everyone, but I find that this is one of the most useful tools, useful skills, is to figure out how to quicker regulate yourself and soothe those initial reactions so that you can get over that first bit hurdle, so that you can look at the deeper cause and the root cause and address that, reframe that. Because what I have observed is that sometimes that can really knock you off. So, for an example, people who are able to do that much quicker can have less downtime, can have less um, less time being sidetracked, or not distracted, but in a way it is a distraction from your path, because it's distracting you and it's sidetracking you from moving forward with your business, from scaling. And the sooner you can attend to those needs, the quicker you can go through that recovery phase after your nervous systems and emotions get dysregulated, the sooner you can get on path and really move forward and get through those next goals, hit those next targets. I know that sometimes it is not possible for us to go through such things and to really deal with those things and attend to that. And in those cases, we can use additional support to be able to filter out certain comments. And some platforms have inbuilt moderation settings that allow us to filter out specific comments. You can completely limit comments on certain posts, certain short form videos, but also you can have additional moderation admin who can go in as a first line of defense and really go and filter out comments, delete them, before you can go in and interact with the comments that you really want to interact and you can address. Because I understand that due to traumas that haven't been handled yet, or we haven't found the right support, or we haven't found the right tool to deal with, we're not able to actually deal with the root cause and really allow ourselves to sit in that discomfort and put ourselves into those situations. However, additional support like moderation assistance can be there as a way of tackling that. And sometimes you can implement both strategies. You can, for certain things that that are too distressing for you, you can have those moderation settings implemented, and in the other case, for things that you can handle and are not too distressing for you, you can leave them and simply leave it as an opportunity for you to grow and see what gets highlighted for you and what gets mirrored for you, so that you can progress and really work through those last bits of challenging beliefs. I believe that avoidance is not the solution, because ultimately avoidance is stopping you from stepping into that next level of authority, the mastery of your craft, the leadership. Into it's stopping you from mastering your role as a CEO, and with that, it's stopping you from owning your expertise in fullness. Ultimately, avoidance does not solve the root cause. It relies on avoidance. It only temporarily soothes your emotions. However, it does not address the root cause. And ultimately, in the end, what's going to happen? That root cause, the emotions that are at the root will get distressed, will get prodded, will get touched on with something else. And it's an invitation. I consider that an invitation to myself, from myself, because it is, if I am ready to address something, I will get opportunities come my way to help me overcome that challenge. If this is already happening for you, if you're getting opportunities to address certain things and you keep avoiding, you're just going to get more opportunities, because at a certain level, your subconscious is ready to deal with it. And it's just giving you an opportunity to handle it. I also don't think the avoidance is solution, because it stops your growth and progress. It does not allow for your growth and progress, because ultimately every single time that you stop it, you stop from yourself, from getting a new learning. And that learning does not only apply to that situation, it spills into other areas of your life. It spills into your other areas of your business, because you become more embodied and more matured and more secure. It helps you master your role as a CEO, because it really strengthens your knowledge and expertise. And with that, if you keep avoiding that growth, it's simply minimizing your opportunities for financial growth. Because if that is one thing that is stopping you from trying different strategies in your business, growth scaling strategies in your business, with which you can create more income, but it keeps coming as an obstacle, then it is going to slow down your financial growth. And there is a risk of you simply being left behind by the others in your industry, because online business industry is so fast paced. And oftentimes those who ride the waves of innovation and these different strategies are the ones who are going to be able to progress further, and you risk kind of leaving yourself behind. How do you move forward? Well, as a recap, I would say address any doubts, any insecurities that are coming up, work with a coach, work with a therapist, find support that can help you address those doubts and insecurities to help you really dive deeper in where they're coming from. um, Observe your language that you have towards yourself. And if you notice that certain things are getting highlighted, whenever you have an experience online and it creates uncomfortable feeling, uncomfortable emotion within yourself, always explore where is that uncomfortable emotion coming from. What is it highlighting within you that you believe that is true to an extent, and try to reflect what emotions are you trying to avoid with certain behaviors in your business. If you recognize that there are certain things that you are really avoiding to do, but you know everyone is recommending that will be good for your next level of growth, that will scale your business, explore what is creating that discomfort, what is creating that resistance, because it is within that resistance where the biggest growth often lies. Reflect on the language that you use within yourself, around yourself, telling yourself, I can't do this, I'm not good for this, I'm not good at that, this is not for me. And explore, why is that? What kind of stories do you have attached to those limitations that you're putting on yourself? What kind of stories go along that line? I would highly recommend that if you do so, that you do through deeper inner work to address it, rather than just one-off session, because oftentimes that a certain behavior that we have is caused by a limiting belief, or a belief that we have, a judgment that we have around ourselves. And often one session is not enough to dive deeper, to dive into the specifics. And often behind that lower level belief that we have are the higher level beliefs. And on one session, I don't think one session will be enough to address, really, to see where is it all coming from, how other beliefs might be connected to that, how other challenges might be connected to that, and how are they a part of this bigger belief or self-judgment you might have around yourself, about yourself. And my big recommendation is to really pay attention and explore, journal in whichever way you do. You can do active meditations and active exploration, like going for a walk and just offloading after a walk, or asking yourself some of the questions that are more purposeful and that are more explorative. Or you can work with me as well. So you can get in touch with me to see whether we are a good fit to work together. This is the work that I do with my clients. This is the work that I do with the masterminders, friends, myself as well. And I would love to support you. And if you would like to, if you're new to my world, and if you would like to see how it is to work together, we can always do a one-off session to target a specific challenge. And if that works well, then we can take the pricing of that session from the my bigger programs, longer programs that I feel are a much better fit for this, because then we get a chance to really dive into the depth of it. And I think that's where the biggest transformations are, not because I'm offering it, because I have observed this as a challenge within the leaders and the authorities, experts within the online business, because they've been burned by different coaches, different service providers, and especially those who are highly self reflective, who are also coaches, can fall into this trap that I already know this, I know how to deal with it. And we're not always able to be subjective with ourselves, even in masterminds with peers. We're not always fully able to be objective with ourselves. There's always some sort of an interest involved. And I really want to highlight that impartiality is a big reason why this works, because I have that emotional detachment. I am not as emotionally invested whether I get your results or not as your friends or peers might be, because they will kind of want the best for you, and oftentimes because they want the best for you might not be able to guide you in the right direction. And also, I'm not emotionally invested if I challenge you in certain ways, which can also happen with the peers and friends. They might not fully be able to challenge you on certain beliefs and things that habits and patterns that they observe, because they're emotionally invested in preserving that relationship. So if you would like to explore how that looks like, you can get in touch with me, you can leave comments, or you can visit my website and fill out the contact form, book any of the one-off sessions with me, or simply explore my website and the one-to-one work offers that I have.